Good morning. Good morning from the Sunshine State. How are you all doing today on this sexy Saturday? Let's just take a moment to really go within and just breathe in. Really just breathe in 3 to 5 long, deep belly breaths, deep within your pelvic floor, really just sensing into this heart space, sensing into where it is you are in this moment in time, becoming present, becoming the gift for all, becoming the gift for yourself. Couple more. You just really want to become present in this moment. Be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful of your physical sensations. Be mindful of the breath and follow it to what areas of your body it reaches. If you have tension, send the breath of healing, the prana to it. Become grounded, become centered. And so today I come to you with a little bit of vulnerability and a little bit of courage to speak up for myself and my own neglect and my own rejection, right? So, I go through moments of burning the midnight hour and really, really pushing myself and being very hard on myself and trying to do and extending that out in a way that I know I'm serving others, but sometimes it also takes away from my own self. It also can deplete my own life force, my own prana, my own energy. And so as a result, I need to check with myself. And I do this quite often, and I am aware that I do it, and I'm aware when I'm doing it in the moment. But sometimes it's the stepping into the awareness of, I need to take a moment for me. It's not about anybody else, it's about me. Because when I show up and I feel the lack of reciprocity of care, or I'm a human being just like everyone else, right? And I have my own fears and my own pains and my own traumas. And my body will literally shake if I'm afraid of something to such a deep level in my core of being that I will suppress it and I will reject it because of the fear of rejection from another. Isn't that the irony? That I would reject an aspect of myself. I would reject something within myself that needs attention, for fear that someone else would reject it and abandon me for it. So think about that. I want you all to check in with yourselves. Do you do it to yourself? Do you reject and abandon that aspect of yourself that needs the most attention for the same fear that others will do the same thing to you, that you yourself will no longer feel that connection and that love with someone else just because they're rejecting you, but you're not also giving the attention where you need it? And so when somehow you find that you are not feeling the love from outside of yourself, you really need to come back to yourself and go, am I exhibiting the love I claim I need from another? Am I nurturing myself? Am I taking the time to be, to just be, to relax, to breathe? We all want those around us to love us. We want each other to, we want to be accepted. We want to feel that connection. It's a simple human basic need, right? We want to feel the consistency of another person or your family, whoever it may be. We want to feel that they're there for us. We want to feel. And when we deny ourselves a feeling, we're also pushing away and rejecting it from others. To feel is to fully embrace all that is going on, mind, body, and soul. To feel is to allow yourself the vulnerability of anything and everything that comes up. It's why addiction is so prevalent. Because when we feel like we don't feel, we don't recognize, I feel like I need to do something to feel the skin. Let me harm myself, because we're so desensitized. We really don't tap into and feel and listen and allow ourselves that external, because we're so out of touch with the internal, right? So for myself, I've been going through personal emotions on the side, and I don't always bring that up. I don't always speak about a lot of what goes on within myself. And if something on the external does trigger me, maybe I don't speak up for fear of the response or reaction of another. Again, the rejection of my own self that I'm rejecting, even bringing up or bringing to surface and allowing it to be seen. And that I myself know that I can accept others where they're at and recognize it. But sometimes I also need to be accepted where I'm at. And also embraced and held space for too. So we can be the strong one, but don't be the martyr, right? Don't act like you can do it all the same, all yourself. It's taken me years to have the courage to be vulnerable in my own personal self, that yes, I myself need help. I can't do it all. I have. But it's nice when it's not that way all the time. And so, even with my father, there have been times I've asked for simple requests and he's denied me, and I'm like, it was not. I thought it was reasonable. I thought it was simple. It doesn't take much. But for someone who loves you to turn around and reject you and say, I can't be bothered, that hurts. And so sometimes when we see a pattern of a person, we recognize that they don't understand. And yes, I have compassion, because I understand that when someone else doesn't have their own self-love, how can they extend it to another? But somebody who claims to love you to turn around and say, I can't be bothered, is like saying, you're not worth it enough to me to even just make the little bit of an effort of a request that for me is very hard to even extend or ask. Yeah, it for me can be a very painful little cut. And so I tend to easily refrain from asking for help, refrain from speaking up, refrain from sometimes even wanting to share something of my deepest hurt. I say this for myself, but I say it for others because I know I can't be the only one who does this. And that when I witness in myself my own pains, my own traumas, I know I still have a long way to go, but I'm grateful that I am able to witness and observe it. Thank you, honey. Because that was a big deal growing up. As much as my dad was a provider. It was always this disconnect in my family of my parents. You know, we hug a lot. We're very affectionate, and that's something that for me as a creature of comfort, I embrace. I will never turn down a hug unless I sense that it's something less of authentic. Because I understand the power of a hug, of human touch, of the kindness, of heart-to-heart connection. But with my dad being a provider growing up, he wasn't emotionally available. And I recognize that. And sometimes it's still hard to believe that I still get that. I still see that. I still sense that. I still feel that. And so sometimes that plays out in my life in other areas. So I guess that's why for myself I'm so sensitive about it with other people, because I've experienced the rejection, I've experienced the distance, I've experienced the sense of I can't be bothered, you know, you sure you can't just do that yourself, or, you know, whatever. It's hard. It's still hard. And so I have to keep being strong and doing what I know I can do for myself, but also not feel like I can't ask, because I do believe there are things that we are all gifted in bringing to one another, and that yes, I can do a lot of things, and I don't mind doing what I do, because when I do them, I'm doing them because I want to, and I do pour my heart and soul in everything I do, because I do believe that the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And when I do something for someone I love, whether it's acknowledged or not, I'm not attaching to the outcome. But every once in a while, it's nice to also feel completely embraced and accepted and held in a space that acknowledges me. And I don't always feel that, honestly. Which is why, for all of these years, I have remained single and tried to work on releasing attachment to someone else providing that for me. But here's the irony and the paradox of human connection and living in this human experience. We came here to be one, to be whole. And to be one and to be whole means we embrace one another. And we see the other person as ourselves. And we experience the other person as ourselves. And vice versa. That is this dance. And that I can speak about my hurts, but I also want to understand and be in a space to hold you as well. But if I'm not exercising the self-care and the love that I also need for myself, it's very hard to fully be present for another, which is why it is so important to breathe in fully the prana, the life force, the nurturing, sustaining, light, loving energy that we don't even have to think about. It happens for us. We're breathed in. We're breathed into, because the source of all that is love, and it is an expression of love. So why do we reject expressing ourselves in loving ways? Why do we reject, I can't be bothered? Because each person is still holding on so tightly to everything that we have been conditioned in our mind, that we want to be right, we want to have control. We don't want others to exercise any form of control over us. And sometimes just a simple request to one person sounds like you're trying to control them in their mind. It doesn't mean that you are, or that that's your intention. But that's something that's coming up for that person. And you can't force them to see it. You can't force them to look at it. They have to go through that. And then when you're the person who's the compassionate one, Even if you recognize it, sometimes your stuff will come up around it. This is this divine dance that we play as humans, that one will bring up something in another, because again, we all serve one another. We all are meant to come together to heal, bring all the pieces of ourselves back together to make us whole, and that's every aspect. That the fear of abandonment means we need to embrace others more, but starting with self first. You can't be embraced by others unless you're embracing and loving yourself. And that if you need your space, if you need time, you need to also honor that within yourself as well as others. And not feel fear, but that's, again, the mental construct. Fear is this false evidence of appearing real. We've already preconceived what it is we think will unfold if we do this or we do that, because based on past experiences, I know that this has happened to me, and I don't want to re-experience that sensation, that feeling that is really only starting up in the mind, right? Self-love, self-care takes time, it takes devotion, it takes dedication. It takes going within so that you don't go without. And so for me, I know that there are times when I just need my own space, and I need to take stock. I need to step back and reflect upon what is going on, what's going on up in here, and really tapping into my inner child and asking, what is this trying to tell me in this moment right here, right now? What is it that I need that will nurture my mind, body, and soul and bring me back to my whole, right? In order to be whole, we need to embrace everything about ourselves. And truly, I mean when I say embrace, we need to accept and honor and appreciate what we consider that good and that bad, that pendulum swinging. That's not who we are. It's just simply an experience that we've had in this human life. And it's just too easy for us to get caught up in our comfort of it's familiar. Because we've known it, we anticipate it. Even when we dislike it, we anticipate it. When we want something better, we focus more on what we expect may go wrong, right? I've done it quite often in my life. I'm afraid if I do this, this will happen. It's what holds us back the most. And then we say, oh, well, I don't care. Well, you care if you even make that statement, I don't care. You do care. Or you wouldn't even be able to make the statement because you wouldn't be recognizing it. It wouldn't even be in your awareness, right? So I come to you today and just totally open heart. I know that I have been going hard in my life, and I had a moment where I just recognized I needed a little bit of space and a little bit of my own inner reflection, because I wasn't giving myself that time, and I was feeling my neglect from the inside out. And it's all perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. When I don't feel I'm receiving something outside of myself, it's when I know it's hit me deep within, and it's something I'm not exercising for me. And so, again, we're not here to fix anybody else. We're not here to make anybody else do what they're not open to doing for themselves. And I say that because we can only work from the inside out. And inspiring people is only going to come from living an inspired life. It's only going to come from you showing up for you first. And then you can show up for others, and you can be that lighthouse for others. Be that person who shows and shines, right? When you shine your love light bright, there is no darker light, right? The darkness, the light. The love, the hate. The positive, the negative. It's all on a pendulum, and it means you're out of balance. Because when both of those two, of the polarities, the extremes, are in harmony with one another, neither actually exists. But yet, they wouldn't exist without the other. But when you come to a neutral point to where you're not swinging far right and swinging far left, you're going to find yourself right here, right now, in this moment, in the neutrality, in the what is. And that is the gift. That is the blessing. Can anyone relate? So on this self-care Saturday, and also, we don't need to stay stuck in any melancholy, but really just bring ourselves back to a state of being. And that once you're aware and you deal with and you go within and you can just breathe into it, then you can change your state. You can get excited again and again radiate out. But like I like to remind people, we're always expanding or contracting at all times, right? Breathe in, expand. Breathe out, contract. So we go within so that we can radiate out. So if you want to be the person that inspires others, go within and start with the patience for yourself, the compassion within, and show others that it's okay. It's okay to be quiet. It's okay to be silent. It's okay to say, I'm going to go and I'm going to have a moment. In fact, that's the healthiest thing you can do for you, that is a gift for others, is to allow yourself, make time in your day for just you. To go within and return to your inner child and ask, what is it that you need, that you feel you are missing? That I am here for you right here now in this. I love you. I support you. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. Because the love I see within myself is going to be the love I see all around me. And when you yourself see love within you, others will see that same love within you. And when you are able to share that with others, you're actually uplifting others. How better way to serve than to be in your power center, to be in your personal power, to be present for yourself first, that you can extend that presence, that gift for others. It's not about being the martyr and saying, oh no, I'm fine. But no, you know what? Right now I just need a moment, and it's okay. And it doesn't change how I feel about others. It's actually going to strengthen what I feel for others, because I'm working on me. So everyone, let's shift this energy, because that's what it's about, right? Coming into awareness, when you're mindful, meditation is single-minded focus. When you sit with it, I journal, I write down what is going on with me. And when you do this, now the juiciness begins, right? So this is the beauty in awareness, right? When you become aware and you take that time for you, now you've reflected. And you can remind yourself that you are the butterfly, right? That your chrysalis might feel tight at times when you feel that pressure building up and you're like, oh, I feel this discomfort and I need to stretch. I need to. So this is the contraction, right? Going within. But when you're getting ready to emerge, that butterfly, those wings, or you're trying to build up the strength, right? Come back into your personal power. That's when you're really building up that courage muscle. It's where you're really strengthening. And those wings, the more you allow yourself that personal power, that going within, those wings are going to stretch far and wide. You're going to be able to flap them with such ease and grace, because the strength that you've built up while all that time you were trying to come out of it has created you that momentum, because you were present in the moment, because you were trying to exercise and feel fully all that you were meant to feel, so that you could emerge, right? You could transform that energy and flow and dance, right? And so, yes, you need to get up and dance and give yourself that gift of movement, because if you don't move it, you'll lose it, right? So, on this Sexy Saturday, as I upshift, right? That's what it's about. I can come on here and tell you what may be going on in my life or what is going on within me, but it still means that you need to come out of it at some point. Because every once in a while, like I said, you've got to go in so that you can radiate out. And again, we're always expanding or contracting at all times. And if you're just mindful of this, don't beat yourself up if you feel a little bit in a slump, if you feel the funk, right? That's when you need to honor it the most. And when you honor that for yourself, you are honoring that for others, and you're giving others permission that it's okay that today's not the most optimal day, that I might not feel my optimal self, that I may not feel my best. And in fact, if anything, that's when you're going to truly tap within and heal any areas that feel still dis-ease, discomfort. You're going to allow yourself that time, that space to grow, because growth comes from going within, right? So on this Sexy Saturday, I've got a smoothie for y'all. It's time to get your sensual smoothie sensations flowing, right? Without further ado, we have the beautiful blender. You know I love my blend tech. And definitely going to do the bananas, because we've got some softies over here. In fact, they're so soft, they're oozing over there on the cupboard, and they're coming apart. It's all good. So, what we have, I'm just going to do serious blending of smoothies with the bananas. I'm going to have to dig out some frozen ones just to kind of give it a little bit more. Alrighty, let me do something right here. I got to wash my hands. So I hope all of you are gleaning some wisdom from these videos. Just always remember, if something resonates, hit the share button. Share in groups and pages, wherever you feel that this information will reach someone else just like it reaches you. You know, sharing is caring. And, you know, I just get on here and just rap. And if I touch one person's soul, that's all that matters. I know I've served. That's, for me, the blessing and the gift of being in this amazing life, is knowing that I know I'm not alone. I have my moments where I feel like I am. But that's a pity party, and I know that it's my mind. Wow, okay, that one's really right. And you know what? It's all good. We got to start somewhere. We have to start within, so we don't go without. So yes, when your bananas are soft, you should be sticking them either in the freezer, especially when they're ripe. So I like my bananas brown, because that tells me they are truly ripe. That's actually when they're the most nutritious. And when you eat any type of fruit or vegetable, when they're not fully ripe, you're actually going to get a banana or you know, like an avocado, whatever is not ripe, still in the ripening phase. If you consider that it's still grasping for nutrients, when you're trying to eat it thinking you're getting nutrients, you're not going to actually get the full benefits. So consider a seed needs its nutrients.
Aw, no option to share to page, so you had to copy the link. Awesome! Thank you, Rebecca. I really appreciate that. I'm still unfamiliar in how that... I do believe in divine timing as well. God knows I have had some serious insights over the years, and it's just always unfolded beautifully, and I trust. I trust my instinct more, right? My intimacy, my intuition, my into me I see. I trust it more now than I ever did before, because I know there have been times I'm like, oh heck no, I'm gonna do this, and it was my soul. It was my soul screaming through, and it wasn't my ego. But I also know those times when it was my ego and I tried to force it. See, this is the difference between power versus force. The innate power within each and every one of us is the soul coming forth. It's what is naturally meant to unfold. And when we actually step into that versus this, which is, we want to come from the heart space, we're going to see that divine unfolding in our lives in such a way we can't deny it. Because when we come from this space, that's when you find you actually fail most. And when you reflect upon your life, and I know I can, whenever I came from this space, I wanted to be right, that's when I had the most pain and suffering, because I was attached. This gets attached. This just gets guided, right? So when we come from the heart and soul, we are divinely guided. It's like the flow. You just go. And so that's why it's so important to go within. The intimacy, the into me I see. When you actually harness that, and you can look back over your life and recognize which was going on, whether you were up here or you were down here. Because when you come from the head space, that's all ego, that's all the mind. This heart and soul, it knows, right? You talk about gut feelings. Let yourself be guided, right? That's a personal power point in the navel center. Then the heart is the seat of the soul, right? And so when it unfolds in such a way that you notice it just happened perfectly, and we say divine time, that in itself is proving that you were coming from here. When it didn't work out, it was all up in here. So sometimes those leaps of faith, I'm telling you, those are the most life-changing. That's when you know you're being guided, when you're coming from your heart and you're not up in here. Isn't that awesome when you really come back to it? It's a huge epiphany for a lot of us. Like, oh, now I can see where I was stuck in my ego. Or, wow, that was truly coming from a space of like knowing, like we say, I knew. It's because it was genuine. It came from your heart. It was your soul guiding you the whole time, right? You can try to force it, but the power lies within here. And that is where you need to be present in the moment, so that the moments unfold moment to moment, momentum, with the divine grace and the ease and the flow, so that you can dance with the darling, like the butterfly with the wings spread wide, right? And then you can get your sexy on, or your sassy. I like to get sassy sometimes too, because I do believe if you don't know how to play or to have fun or to laugh at yourself, then how can you ever enjoy this beautiful life? Yeah. All right, blueberry time, blueberry and ginger. And frozen manners that I have in here still. I almost feel like I need to throw these on a concrete block. They all got stuck together, unfortunately. Hey, John, how are you? I hope you are having a sexy Saturday. I'm here getting my sassy on, making some smoothies. If you didn't get a chance to see the first part of this video, you'll always be able to go back and check it out. But ultimately, I was discussing how caught up in the mind we can become, but that we need to exercise self-care, right? And surrender to the fact that every once in a while, yeah, we need to go within, because at all times we are either expanding or contracting. And the most growth that we actually will experience is when we're going within. When we're mindful in the moment, moment to moment, creates momentum. It's the beauty of the divine dance of this life. So I put ginger in everything, and I mean, like, this is a big knob. It's very good for you.
if you have like any type of belly cramping or anything like that. I'm on my moon cycle, so I become even more sensitive and more aware of when my needs need to be met, and I need to work on me. So the one thing I would have loved to have done last night, though I did not, is to take a long Epsom salt bath. I'm telling you, it's one of the best things you can do for your body. I'm way overdue. We've done bathtub meditations, but we've kind of fallen off of that because we've been working on sharing with you beautiful people out there. So yeah, I truly love my bath time. I had my bathtub totally resurfaced when I bought this house, and I redid my bathroom. I love my bathroom. My bathroom is beautiful and sacred to me, as is my kitchen, and as is my sanctuary bed, things like that. I'm a Leo, so my creature comforts are definitely within my home, right? So it's all about my den, right? And keeping my space a certain way. And it's something I know for myself that I've learned over the years, is that even if I've been living out of a suitcase, I have to have my certain little creature comforts, to feel having a den, having my space feel special, clean, tidy, comfy. Like my bed is a cloud. It's like literally, I love puffy cloud style. Like I like the down comforter, even if I live in Florida, and when it drops under 70, 75 degrees, 78 degrees, I'm like, okay, turn the heat on. Or I just don't turn the heat on, and I like to be under my little fluffy cloud, right? Yes, I do remove the ginger if I know if it's really dirty, I remove the skin off the ginger. But if it's, organic and it's super clean, I don't always, because it's okay. But yeah, going back to my cloud, like I like to be in this, I have all these pillows, I like to have the pillows and everything around me. Since I was a little girl, and I don't know if it was because of the Dracula movies, and I tell you, I don't like scary movies. I do not like the feel of, I dislike like cold around my neck and drafts. So, and maybe because Dracula would suck your neck to blood. I don't know. It might be something deep psychological, but I really, really like I take the comforter and I fold the sheet over and I just pull it up and I kind of wrap it around, so I feel it's like feeling embraced in your own bed. And so especially if you've been single for a long time and you didn't have a cuddly partner, this is for me something I really like and appreciate. And so I like to have a nice fluffy comfy bed with lots of pillows, although I only like one pillow under my head, because if I lift my head too high it actually messes with my cervical spine. And I usually sleep on my back, but then I do turn over at night. So I'd say I put, how many bananas did I just put in there? I put one in the refrigerator. Oh goodness, I put probably 5 bananas in here, 2 cups of blueberries, a knob of ginger. I'm gonna see if I'm feeling the, oh wow, sweet. Awesome, John. I'm in Clearwater, so I getcha. This area is so saturated with amazing people here. And, speaking of which, I teach yoga at Yoga Village, and I'm teaching at 4 o'clock on Sunday. I teach Kundalini Yoga. It's the yoga of awareness through your personal experience. Nobody can tell you what you're going to experience or what you should experience in any given situation. Did I mention I make my own chocolates? What a great way to start the day. Especially if you're on your moon cycle. You might have a little cramping going on. We crave chocolate because of the nutrients and the minerals in it. Have you some? Yum. Actually, you know what? That's what I need to do. If y'all make sure you got your notifications turned on, because I'm going to make chocolates. And I have not done that on camera because that's something special for me. I don't usually share that a lot. So if I'm making chocolates, you're going to want to tune in. It's a special process in itself, right? And that's the thing. I will share some recipes. Have an amazing day, Diane. And so I like to mix whatever intuitively comes in that I feel I need in my body.
And I think today we're going to do a little ashwagandha, which is an adaptogen herb, and it's very good. It's Ayurvedic. Over the years, I have just been, amazingly guided to, I just feel things, and I feel things on a deeper level than I can even express. And I know it's a gift, though over the years, I've felt like it distanced me from people because they don't always get what I see or feel. And like I say, there's a lot of stuff I can't express through words, which is why I really love to speak, because I do love words, and I do feel I'm able to express a lot. I love to write. I love to speak. But some things, to articulate in words, take away their meaning entirely. I do believe our bodies tell us not to eat at times, truly, and that's tapping into your body's wisdom, and it's something that I've actually got a workshop I put together. I'm going to put a little bit of Shilajit. You got to be careful. This stuff's so potent, and it's very earthy. It's a resin, super high in fulvic acids and minerals. Tapping into your body's wisdom is a workshop I actually put together with my Kundalini teaching, because I know one of my big awarenesses during all of my practicing, this is Gugaloo, which is another resin special. This is a special one. Again, it balances the body. I had a meditation one time, and I literally was sitting there, and it was one of my bigger epiphanies, and it just dropped in. It said, you need to be present right here, right now, in this physical body. That so often I know for myself, I'm Vata Pitta, like for a lot of people who follow Ayurveda. Vata is very airy. Pitta is very fiery, right? So I have a high metabolism. I'm thin. I can be flighty, but that's where I have to ground myself. And I tell you, awareness is key. That if you feel yourself all over the place, that's when you need to be the most present right here, right now. You need to breathe into that space. You need to become aware of what your thoughts are. And meditation is extremely big for those of us who are all over the place, because it allows us to streamline and move in a better flow, as opposed to jumping from here and jumping there, leaving one room and starting another task that you went in the other room to do something to go back. Now, that whole ADHD thing is not a bad thing, as long as you can keep track of it. Because in the past, I would be like, okay, now what was I doing again? Now I'm able to go, okay, I'm tracing myself. So yes, I may get distracted because I see another thing that needs to be done, but I come right back to where I started without losing the momentum. Because as I'm present in the moment, each moment becomes momentum that moves with ease and grace and flow. Not everybody can do that because they're not present. And again, it's dedication and devotion to you being mindful, and you have to constantly be attentive to the breath and being fully in the breathing, like into the deepest recesses of your body. So yes, I highly, highly recommend listen to your body, journal. That particular meditation, that when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh. It's easy for people, it doesn't matter what walk of life, addiction is addiction. And there's a lot of spiritual addiction, like a lot of people who just want to sit and meditate because they don't want to be present. But when you can meditate in the calm and the chaos without sitting in a seat with the quiet in an ashram, that's doing the real work. It's the applying the knowing to the everyday life. It's the holding space for everyone else out there right here, and not trying to go out and do and make things happen, right? Oh, I need to do this because that's just the way it is. I'm going to put 3 drops of vanilla stevia, make that 5. Yeah, 5 vanilla stevia. Let me see what else. Mucuna prurium. See, I haven't been doing these for a bit. I have like a whole supplement regimen that I do in the morning, and I don't do it every single morning. So I'm putting like a teaspoon of all these in here. I put a teaspoon of ashwagandha, a teaspoon of mucuna pruriens. I put just a dash of the Gugaloo, and the first resin I put in was Shilajit, S-H-I-J, S-H-I, Shi, La, L-A-J-I-T, Shilajit. Sounds so pretty, doesn't it? And then I'm just going to put a little bit of mesquite, because mesquite's also good for the adrenals. It's another adaptogen. Let's say half a teaspoon of that. You don't need much. Don't need much of anything. It's just, sometimes it's the flavors, sometimes it's just the balancing, right? Bringing back the synergy back to your life. Let's see. Oh, and I love, I don't know, I'm a mushroom lover. And this is a Mycoforce. It's Health Force, Mycoforce Immunity. It's actually quite tasty. This stuff tastes good. I will do it as it is. And I'll use about a teaspoon of this as well. Your D's are really good. Look at you. You got it, girl. It's JIT. But you got it almost perfect, dear. So I'm also very visual and very tactile. So for me, again, if you watch me, I'm going to tell you that I try to align and attune myself to my body to really feel fully all 5 senses. And that's why I know I'm very sensitive. And since I was a child, I've known I was sensitive. That for me, I don't just feel like, oh, that doesn't feel right. Like, that upset me. Perfect. I feel in my body to such a deep level sometimes that it you know, we talk about empaths. Empathy, and I want to just stress, there's the healed empath and the empath who's still undergoing their own integration of their own wholeness. Because you can be an empath, meaning you pick up and you sense and you feel others without responding, reacting, or feeling that same trauma come up within you and creating a trigger. The healed empath, the whole empath, is someone who recognizes, because they've been there, but that aspect of themselves that is they're recognizing in the other person is whole, it is accepted, it is a part of them, right? And they connect. That when I feel you, I don't get upset any longer, because I just am aware of what that was for me, but I sense it in you. And an empath, even though we feel it, doesn't mean we feel it the same way the other person does, but we feel the essence of what's going on. And so I'm very much attuned to this and aware of it for myself. I admit there was a little bit of there's a lot of empaths out there that easily get triggered. And that's just because we're all going through our own experiences and unfolding and healing our own selves. And that nobody can heal us. We're working on it ourselves. And that's that relationship with one another, that when someone shows up in your life, they're giving you an opportunity to grow as you are them, right? That's how we serve one another. We grow the most through personal experience and relationship. So yes, I could spend many years living in an ashram, but until I apply it, integrate it into my life, all the teachings, the knowing, sitting in meditation is great. But when you got to go out in the world, that's when you're really going to start using it, and it's going to test you. The universe is going to throw you those curveballs and say, hey, did you learn that lesson yet? It's a big reflection. It's a big awareness, and not everybody's going to get it right away. But awareness is key, and that's how we grow. And the more aware you become in the present moment, the more you can grow, the more you can change, you can shift. Because shift happens, baby. Sexy Saturday, shift happens. So I'm going to add about a cup of water, and then we're going to blend this baby up. What? Alrighty. So if y'all didn't see my video last night, I'm going to show you this. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I'll put this over here. I got 3 blenders, because blender pitchers. Alright, so I'm going to just turn you on, and then I'm going to show you this beautiful creation. These are my Rockin' Tots. I made these last night. Aren't those gorgeous? These are cauliflower and parsnips spiced up, and they look like tater tots, don't they? I'm going to tell you, both of them are completely different flavors, because the almond encrusted, the crumbles on the outside, look at this. You know you want some of that, right? The crumbles on the outside just, it changes the flavor. They taste completely different, right? Just little tater tots. They're rockin' tots, rockin' cauliflower tots. So that was last night, but, I love to share my little recipes and love to hear when people actually do their own. So if you decide to make anything, you need to post it on the page. Or in the group, actually, be better. So if you haven't been to our group, Ridiculously Authentic, head on over to the group, introduce yourself, share a story, tell us who you are, and tell us about yourself. Because guess what? If you haven't been to the group, you're going to find an amazing community of rock and rad stars who will embrace you. They will support you, uplift you, inspire, and empower you. You're going to be such a warm welcome. You're going to wonder, whoa, how is it possible that this day and age I can find such a community of uplifting, amazing souls online? Because this is the web of inclusion, baby. We're here to embrace you all and bring the world back together in harmony, right? Mind, body, soul, and it all starts with one person. You. All right, let's whip it up. Something's telling me I might put something else in there. I might put the baobab in there. Oh, that's so good. That's really, really good. But yeah, I'm feeling the need to put a little baobab in there. Now that's a tree, and these are sweet fruit, and it makes it a little bit more smoothie-ish. Put the bao back in your bab. I'm gonna put a tablespoon of this in here. This stuff kind of gives it a little bit more of a kick. It's very high in potassium, magnesium. Oh my gosh, this one's a really big powerhouse. Antioxidants. This can be really, really good. So you get a little bit of words of wisdom with me while I make up this smoothie. Whoops, I think I made a little bit of a mess. Sometimes I make messes, but I like to clean up after myself as soon as I see I did that. All right, so let's see. My blueberry smoothie is the bomb diggity, I guarantee it. Actually, I want a little bit more nanner in that, frozen nan. And I'm going to put a couple more. And y'all would laugh if you saw my fruit. My frozen bananas are completely, I've yet to figure out, I think it's my refrigerator. My refrigerator kind of stinks. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put at least 2 more frozen bananas in here because I want it a little thicker. I put a little bit more water than I realized. What is it that you didn't catch? If I didn't, if you didn't hear something, I don't know what it was. Ooh, hello. All right. I'm going to put 3 more drops, so it'll be like 8 drops of vanilla stevia. I like vanilla, and I'm kind of out of vanilla, ground vanilla, and that's what I prefer. So 3 more drops of, this is one of my favorites. This is Omica. I will post the recipe on in the group and the page. So yeah, It's I put 5 regular bananas and then 2 frozen, about a cup of blueberries, 8 drops of vanilla stevia, a dash of shilajit, a dash of guggulu, a teaspoon of ashwagandha, a teaspoon of mucuna pruriens, a tablespoon of baobab, and yeah, I think that, and a thumb of ginger. Thumb of ginger is probably one of the big ones. All right, so bless your food with love, pour from your heart. Oh, it's so good. Alrighty. And then we have to do what we call the dramatic pour, right? Oh. I have this beautiful glass that says love on one side. My mom sent me these. Love. And it's truth, right? Truth and love, they are synonymous. They are one with the other. Oh yeah, I think that was just what it needed. Always is. Like, you just trust your instinct. Dramatic pour. Again, love. It's all about love. And licking it. Licking it. Nice and thick. Pour it on. Pour on the love, nice and thick. Start from the inside out so you don't go without. I hope you all enjoyed this. Have an amazing, sexy Saturday. I love you all. What? Keep it raw, stay rad.